Welcome to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review presents Let's Talk Houston Rockets post-game style. Rejoice, Rocket fans. It is here. I'm, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Rockets, BTA, the Utah Jazz. Final score 143-105 over the Jazz. Rockets with tonight's win number 50, 5-0, clinched the playoff spot, 50-27. Salute to Terry. Salute to any Rocket fan, any member of the LTHR family who said before the season that the Rockets would get at least 50 wins. Salute to you. I was wrong. Rockets got win number 50 tonight. Made it look easy, as they should. Did not play around with their food, as Solo likes to say. Mr. Big Texco, how are you doing? It indeed was a beatdown. BTA, beat that ass. Ace Times Finest, how are you doing? Let's get, folks, there's not much to talk about. I mean, we can go over the stats. This game wasn't in doubt. I said it Monday after they lost to the Lakers that they would beat Utah and get win number 50. They did that. Your thoughts on what you saw? Reed Shepherd had played the whole fourth quarter, got double figures. Rockets made 56 of 104 field goals. Fred did not play due to ankle soreness in the right ankle. Didn't matter. Look at the numbers. 19 for 45 from three. Only major negative, 12 of 19 from the free throw line. 63 rebounds, 30 assists, only 10 turnovers. Utah's defense it might be as bad as Phoenix's defense. It's really awful defense. I know they're young and rebuilding, all that kind of stuff, but put forth some effort on defense and make it look like you know what you're doing defensively. Too many times tonight, no idea what they were doing. Jalen Green, 22 points, 7 for 15 from the floor, 4 for 7 from three. He missed his free throws, 4 for 6 free throws, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover. Mr. Dylan Brooks, 21 points, 9 for 16 from the floor, 3 for 8 from three, 2 rebounds, no assists, 1 turnover. Get back to your comments, because a lot of guys are in double figures for the Rockets. I got more to discuss. Solo says, indeed, playoffs, here we come. Reed was cooking, 5 for 7 from three for his 15 points. I still don't. He might not play, or if they decide to move on from Fred, which I kind of still doubt. But did I say you don't see him? Still don't. Yeah. Who's going to beat out? Now, if he plays like he did in the fourth quarter tonight against a team whose defense is awful, does that 80 times a year, he'd be fine. But Joseph, how are you doing? What are the odds? Can't win more return next season. 20%. Maybe Reed's 35%. But I don't see, they can return next year and probably get the same amount of minutes they're getting right now. So, hey, Reed Shepherd, bright future. If the Rockets want to extend their window, Reed can stay here, bide his time, sit on the bench, develop his confidence, become what the Rockets want him to be, a three-point threat, and not hesitate on his shot. He can do that here. But if he's going to think about it while he's on the floor, he can sit on the bench and do that, or do that somewhere else. Oh, wow. Ayush, thank you for chiming in as well. You hope Reed can play 10 minutes a game in the playoffs? No. No. 10 minutes a game, maybe 10 minutes in the playoffs total, but not a game, not per game. I don't see that happening. Reed can't be traded on a rookie contract, says who? Why do you say that? He was tossed around. His name was tossed around a lot earlier in the season for guys like De'Aaron Fox. So he can be traded. You can be traded. Now, if Reed plays with confidence again like he did tonight, going forward, that's good. But he hasn't done that this season. He has hated too much. His defense was already a detriment. His defense and his lack of strength were his negatives this season. His strength was to shoot the ball and make threes. When he thought about it and hesitated on those threes, he played himself off the floor and on the bench. Now, if his confidence is up, that's a positive going forward, but he's not going to get playoff minutes. That's not going to happen. If that happens, if he does well, that's great. But if Reed Shepherd's playing in the playoffs, somebody's probably got hurt. 2-year contract, Joseph. No, Reed can be traded. There's no contract, he can be traded. Now, Rockets might want to do that, but anybody can be traded unless you have a no trade clause in your contract. Rookies don't have that in their contract. So, yeah, that's that. Someone tell you that, they're mistaken. I don't know everything, but rookies can be traded. Yeah. I'll use some recency bias here. Reed can't be worse than Fred in the playoffs. Sure he can. Because he's never been in the playoffs before. He doesn't have that playoff experience. He does not have that championship experience that Fred has. So sure he can. Solo wants to keep the core together because he doesn't know what star player will be available that fits our timeline. And that's fair. Very fair. Again, these playoffs will determine the direction of the Rockets because I don't think it's going to happen. But if they look bad in the first round and lose in the first round, a change is going to come. Because the higher ups are going to say, well, I thought we were closer than we really apparently are. So we got to change some things. Now, if they shine in the playoffs, higher ups might say, well, let's stick with this group. We got our playoff experience. Let's run it back next season and go forward. But these playoffs are going to say a lot. Rob Cortez being positive. Bump any trade for a star. We have at least 4 guys that will be stars in about 2 years. Very well could be. I'm of the opinion, don't make a major trade. Friends trade here and there. Make something if you see a need in the playoffs. If it is a shot blocker, a rim protector, well, we really need that. Make a trade for that. Something like that. But nothing major. I've gone away from that. Who do I think will be the reason the Rockets could underperform in the playoffs? Oh, wow. Pick a youngster. So that's Al P, Jalen, Jabari. Double in the first half for Bari tonight. Tari Eason. Pick a youngster. Dylan Brooks might get his mouth might get him in trouble. Who knows? Again, I'm looking forward to these playoffs for them. Ayus says, okay, right here. Rockets need to draft a shooter next draft. Isn't that what Reed is? Reed was supposed to be the shooter, right? So that's why I say Reed has to play with confidence. Because if he does, he can shoot. And he could address that, one of the Rockets' biggest needs. Rob says, here's some perspective, and this is true. The Cougs players are older than Rockets' young core. Only a fool would move them for some older star. Maybe we're splitting hairs on the word fool. Someone who is in love with superstars may push for a trade. So, I'm not the owner. Trading for Durant would be a mistake. Agreed, because it would reduce the window. Agreed. And Shams Charania said earlier today, he went back to his reporting in February, before the deadline or around the deadline, that the Rockets were among 4 or 5 teams who had interest in KD at that time. KD is going to be traded this summer. He and his reps are going to work with Phoenix and try to make a trade that benefits both sides, KD as well as management. We'll see how that goes. I don't believe the Rockets are going to trade for KD, but I think they're going to do something. But let's see. Fred took the cash and jumped out the plane. But I'll say it like this. Any of us, if a team, if ownership, a boss, company says Joseph, Edward, Ayush, Solo, Ace Times Finance, Rob, I'm going to give y'all a 2-year contract for $85 million a year. Who's going to say no? Who's going to say no? Nobody. Did the Rockets overpay for Fred? Market says yes. Rockets say no. He got their value. He helped them with his veteran leadership. Now, they had that 3rd year in the contract is a team option, which benefits them. So this will be Fred's last year getting $43 million a year. Oh, is it 44 now? He's probably going to take a pay cut. Cut that in half. Still making $20+ million a year. We'd all take that. So he'll do that. Get more years left on the new contract. And then we go from there. So, hey. AD hit a game winner. Salute to him. He got talent. We all know he got talent. His issue is staying healthy. And I don't know who the first person or the person who made it famous when they coined that phrase. The best ability is availability. If AD is available, he's a hell of a talent. Now let's see him do it. That's the big thing. And see, complicated with his perspective. The questions are the answers. If this squad was believable, every post game people wouldn't look for a trade idea option. More and more folks so far are moving to they don't want the Rockets to make a trade. They want to see and stick with this young core. I'm leaning toward that, but I do believe how they perform in these playoffs will be an indication of what they do in the offseason. Rockets are a better team with Fred. Offense runs smoother. When he was out, offense was terrible. I agree with this. Got to give Jalen credit for being available to play. Fred is a new Chris Paul. Well, he won't be a free agent probably. I think he'll agree to more years with less money. Nothing wrong with that, But, oh, I remember that. I remember those years? Remember those days? Talk out there was Şengün should be behind Bruno Fernando. Yeah, I remember some of those issues. Jalen, he's playing through pain. He's playing through some injuries. So give him credit for that. So his wrist is bothering him. I think his knee is bothering him. So he's playing through it. Let me get back to the stats here. Give these other young men some attention for the numbers they put forth today in the Rockets' 50th win this season. 143-105 over those Utah Jazz players. It's always good to be Utah. Tari Eason, 15 points, 9 boards, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 7 for 8 from the floor, 1 for 2 from 3. Şengün, Alpi Şengün, 15 points, 6 for 12 from the floor, 3 for 4 free throws, 14 rebounds, 9 assists. So he just missed a triple-double. Jabari Smith had his double-double, had it in the first half. Finished the game with 15 points, 14 boards, 6 for 16 from the floor, 2 for 9 from 3, 2 assists, 1 turnover. See a lot of guys in double figures. Reed Shepherd, 15 points, 5 for 7 from 3, 3 boards, 2 assists. Mr. Woodmore got in some run in the fourth quarter, 11 points, 4 for 6 from the floor, 1 for 2 from 3, 2 for 2 free throws, 3 boards, 3 assists. Cam Whitmore. Ooh. Amen Thompson started in place of Fred, started at point guard, 9 points, 4 for 6 from the floor, 1 for 2 free throws, 4 boards, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 1 turnover, and a partridge and a pear tree. Stuff in the stat sheet as he always does, as he usually does. That's it. X-Ray, you are correct. Welcome to the playoffs. Finally made it. How long? Let me see. Get to the comment here. What's in this question? Remember this? Everybody loved Gary. Yeah, remember Gary Bird? They loved him too. Remember that? Oh yeah, some folks wanted to keep him around. Don't trade him. Don't trade him. Oh no. Ayush, how long is the rest after the season into the playoffs? Regular season ends April 13th. The play-in tournament starts April 15th. Day 1, day 2, April 16th. Then the last days, April 18th. Then the playoffs, I believe, four games will begin on that Saturday the 19th, and the other four begin on Sunday the 20th. So I think that's how it's going to go. I think the first playoffs series will begin on the 19th. And Rockets are in the playoffs, not in the play-in. They are in the playoffs. Joseph says the cortisone shot will get Jalen right. Rob, I'm praying to all the guys that Ime sees the light and limits Dylan to 30 minutes or less in the playoffs and little to no closing minutes. Complicated, keep pushing for this trade, man. He keeps pushing for this deal. The Rockets have a pecking order problem. Would I make a straight trade with Jalen for Cade? No. You're asking the wrong person. Detroit is not trading Cade Cunningham. Period. If not, why not? He's a point guard. Jalen is a shooting guard learning to become a facilitator. No. They got someone kind of like Jalen. Just Jaden Ivey. You don't need another one of them. No. Gary Bird is still on the Hawks. I think what was it? The recent Rockets game was his first game since February, something like that. I think Ackerman mentioned. Solo. Agreed. He needs to control himself. Agreed. But yeah, Mr. Random May 3 talking about Gary Bird. But Rocket fans, the Rockets are in the playoffs. Win number 50 on this season. 5 more games to go in the regular season before get a few days off to get ready for their first round playoff matchup. And we're going to talk playoff basketball. Playoffs. Yes, playoff basketball. Oh, did he really say this? Chandler Parsons making fun of the fans for thinking we were going to fall in the seedings. He thought the Rockets would be 7 or 8 seed. Well, wrong. Wrong. No. Oh, yeah, let's... what do I think about this? The name that X-Ray brought up. Because Cade Cunningham was not leaving Detroit. Okay, he might come visit, but he's not leaving the Pistons via trade. Rockets have a better chance in getting Ja finger pistol. Yeah, he did it again. I didn't see the game. Read about what he did. Apparently, Buddy Hield did something similar. I don't know. Did he? I don't know. Ja, man, eyes are on you for the least thing, the minute things, and yet you still doing dumb stuff. Man, people you around me, let them go, man. You need to let them dudes go. Women, whoever there is in your head to keep trying to be hard and stuff, man. You're gonna muck around, be out of the NBA. The league will move on. It won't miss you. You keep doing dumb stuff. I don't know. You need to grow up. Get out. One or the other. Your choice. You think you untouchable. All right. Your people telling you the wrong things. I know that, Edward. He's from the burbs. Think he hard. From the burbs. He's from the suburbs. Boy, let's forget all that, man. Forget all that kind of stuff, people. Rockets won number 50 tonight. They blasted the Jazz. Okay. Going to the playoffs. That's the important thing. Come on now. That's the important thing. Rockets are going to the playoffs. Playoffs. Yes, the playoffs. Let me see if the stats are posted yet. Not the stats, the notes are posted yet. Let's see. Not yet. All right. Waiting for the Rockets media to send their game notes. Not there just yet, but no worries. But see, I'm with Ayush. I think this is a great matchup. The Grizzlies are a mess. That's team turmoil, team chaos. That is, I said it on Sports Radio 610 Tuesday night. Of the 4 possibilities for first round opponents, most likely for the Rockets, Golden State, no, not a great matchup for the Rockets. Minnesota, not better than no. Clippers, kinda. Compared to Memphis, I'd take Memphis as a preference. If I'd rank them for ideal first round playoff opponent for the Rockets, it'd be Memphis, Clippers, Minnesota. Heck. Well, yeah, that'd be it because Dallas can't finish 7th, even in the play-in. Dallas could finish 8th. As things stand, play-in wise, 7 seed plays 8 seed. Winner of that game gets the 7th spot, and then the loser of that game will face the winner of the 9-10 matchup. So, yeah, Dallas cannot be 7th. They can be only 8th. James Harden has traumatized Rocket fans in the playoffs. I'd rather the Rockets get exposed in the playoffs rather than prolong real progress. Well, we could see if we play the Grizzlies, Dylan will go off as long as he goes off in his 25 minutes. Let's see. Well, tonight is an outlier. He played 27. No Rocket starter played 30 minutes tonight. The most was Alp playing 28 minutes, 55 seconds. Jabari off the bench played 27 minutes, 9 seconds. So that's how you want to do it. Rockets got a big one this Friday against Oklahoma City. See where they are, how close they are head-to-head against Oklahoma City. Not a good matchup for them, but not going to worry about it. Won't see them until the Western Conference Finals, unless the Rockets collapse and end up 4th or 5th. And they're 5 ahead of Warriors in the 5th spot, so that seems unlikely. Only got 5 games left. 3 games ahead of the Lakers, so that's outside chance they could crater. Don't see that happening. So Rockets are going to be either 2nd or 3rd. So they won't face OKC until deep in the playoffs. Think about that. How about that, man? Houston Rockets, 50-27 on the season. 5-0, 50-27. So, all right. All right, let me see. Rob adds, Reed has been playing well in his last 5 to 7 games or so. It would be nice to see Ime kick the tires on him and Cam with this tough stretch. Only in routes. Only if the game's a blowout. If it's not a blowout, he's going to stick with his 8-man rotation. Complicated. I can take a wild guess who will have a bad game against OKC. Won't say his name. Don't be shy, man. We're all family here. Don't be shy. Be 10 toes down. Stand on it. Stand on business. Rob adding, if they can play well in short bursts against tough teams, they should be considered for postseason. Y'all asking a lot. Ime is a veteran head coach, going to rely on his veterans in the playoffs. It's very rare in the playoffs when teams go past 9 deep. Really, it's just 8 in the playoffs. So y'all are asking for a lot. Rockets should lock up number 2. Denver can lose one more. Yeah, Rockets gonna be the second seed in the West. The second seed in the West. Man. Mr. Big Tex, what am I trying? Are you an alum that was assigned tickets? Did you buy the package or for the Cougar alumni ticket? How did that work for you? Congrats on getting tickets, by the way. Be in San Antonio as well in a few days. Rob, second seed and folks want to blow it up. I think more and more people are moving away from wanting to make a major trade. So that's a change from a few weeks ago. When the Rockets were on their losing streak and struggling, like the foundation had collapsed and cracks in it, and it's a fire, and oh my gosh, let's get rid of all, whatever. But now that they've righted the ship, getting healthier, winning, wrapping up the second seed in the West, the major trade talk has kind of died down. Newell or Queen in the lottery. Would Derek Queen help the Rockets? Asa Newell, both of them are young. And see, also, they're talented. I'm sticking with it. Unless the Rockets, via the Phoenix pick, land a top 3 pick in the draft, it's unless they're really, really, really high on whoever they get in 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they might trade the pick and just, kick the can down the road because they have so much youth on this team now. 2 of the young guys don't even play right now. Talking about Reed and Cam. So what will another youngster do? He won't play a lot, So it'd be an interesting thing for them to discuss. Complicated saying it does not matter what seed the Rockets are. Why do you say that? Having home court. Is it though? And I say that because, well, 2 reasons why I say it. Playoffs hopefully is a little bit different, but Toyota Center hasn't been filled with Rocket fans. It's not. They are announcing sellouts, but the games aren't sold out. There's plenty of empty seats in that building. Will that change come the playoffs? Secondly, we don't know how these youngsters are going to perform at home in the playoffs. Will some of them kind of crater with the pressure of winning at home in the playoffs? I don't know. I don't expect it. How will these Rockets respond if they lose one of the first 2 games at home in the series? When you're a veteran team, playoff experience, you lose a home game, you don't sweat it. You're like, that's all right. We'll get it back on the road. No worries. How will these young players respond if they lose one of those first 2 games at home? It's an unknown. We got to see what they do. I'm looking forward to the growth of this team beginning with these playoffs. X-Ray wants the Rockets to draft Steve's protege. And who is that? Who in your opinion is that person? And see this, I'm with GRX. They haven't really, they haven't learned because they haven't been to the playoffs to learn how to win in the playoffs. This first taste of the playoffs will be great for them. Well, it should be great for them. And OKC, their youngsters, OKC is an outlier. Many teams, more time than not, many teams with a lot of young talent, it takes them a while to win, to learn how to win in the playoffs. We're going to see, are the Rockets an outlier? Or are they just like everybody else who's young and has to learn and go through the steps, go through the growing pains of losing in the playoffs a year or two, and then figuring it out, what it takes to get it done, and then start that march of advancing deeper and deeper in the playoffs. What happens if they make it to the finals this year? Then they have a chance to win the chip, win it all. I don't see that happening, though. It'd be great if it does. It'd be a big surprise. But hey, if it happens, great. No one's going to say, "Oh, that's okay. We don't want it." They developed too fast. They should not have skipped steps. I'm going to say that. If they get there this far, enjoy the ride. There'll be more games for us to have these Let's Talk Houston Rockets post-game shows. So hey. Okay, no one specifically, just a 7-footer. All right, that's fair. Not 6'11", 7 feet. Rob says, if I'm right, and this core is a future dynasty, being second in the West and making the NBA Cup semifinals will make sense looking back. There are steps along the way to getting it done. And the Rockets, they've leaped a few steps. Got win number 50. It's hard to go from mediocre / good to great. Rockets are bordering on great. Now they got to do it in the playoffs. Regular season success is nice, especially nice for a young team, especially nice for a team that had lost a lot recently. Now let's see them get it done, make some noise, and learn from it in the postseason. Rockets offseason, re-sign Adams, get Barry and Tari cared for, and get a future asset or contributing vet for Cam. Solo, we got to win a chip first before we can talk dynasty. Agreed. And heck, what is this? What's it been? The last 6 seasons has been a different NBA champion. So, I mean, there's parity in the NBA now, and the salary cap, the cap aprons, all those things that do have impacts on teams and keeping their title teams together for a while. That's all changing. We shall see. All right, everybody. That's going to do it because I'm getting ready to travel. And we shall see. So just stick with the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel for content. Follow my man, Andy Yanez. He's going to be in San Antonio first, covering the Cougs. And then I'll get there eventually because I'll be with some basketball family first as we say goodbye to one of our colleagues who passed away in January. And then I'll get to San Antonio. But as always, thank you so much for your questions and your comments on this edition of the Houston Roundball Review presents Let's Talk Houston Rockets. Someone who's going to be the first person to buy some of that new LTHR merch. Someone buy that merch, buy you a shirt, buy you a tank top, buy you a cap, buy you a mug. So I appreciate your support. Appreciate your time. You're spreading the word about this show because the audiences are growing. I see the numbers. They are growing. Thank you very much for that. Probably going to have a show Sunday, not Friday. Sunday, but we'll see. Just subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, click on that bell so you can be notified when new shows are posted. Recorded the takeover show this evening with my Kansas colleague, Kenitra Pulliams. That's going to air at noon. Talked about the dark money at Duke. Made our Final Four predictions. So tune in for that at high noon on this channel, the Houston Roundball Review on YouTube. As always, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate your time, taking your time out of your night, your routine. Hope this is part of your routine now. After Rocket Game, we talk Rockets. So wrapping it up, as I always do. Since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective. Everyone, y'all know what's coming up next. I got to look for, because I want to do this because it's part of the shirt as well. It's on the back of the shirts, which you'll know, which you'll see when you buy a shirt. Here it is. Peace.
Game over. Game over. Game